Welcome in, everybody. It's the coach. This is Madden 20 on EA Sports. Straight ahead, we've got a terrific matchup on tap between the Baltimore Ravens and the London Bulldogs.
Okay, Coach, thank you. We are about 4,300 miles away from you there in Orlando as we come to you from the European home of the NFL, London, England. Coming up, another edition of the NFL International Series, and it should be a good one between the Baltimore Ravens and the London Bulldogs. Set to go now in Week 6 of the NFL season, and we are underway on EA Sports. This will be taken to the back of the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. So now the Ravens getting ready for their first go on offense. As we get a look at a guy who grew up in Florida, played his college ball, of course, in Louisville. It's the electric Lamar Jackson.
And the numbers were not pretty. I mean, they don't look right. When you throw 2 interceptions, no touchdown passes, there's no way to really make that work. But I thought there were a lot of positives in watching his game tape. I think he's close to putting out a good performance. Let's see if he can flip those numbers around in this game. And, of course, rally his team to a win.
First and 10, it's Jackson. Completes it to Aguilar. Call it officially a loss of 2 on the first play from scrimmage. Second down.
They've got good playmakers on the offensive side of the ball. I don't know what happened last week to really hurt their performance and hold down their production, but I would dare say that this week in practice, there's a lot of talk about how they're going to increase their proficiency.
Yeah, that was a good start getting the playmakers involved. You mentioned that to me pregame. That's what they did there.
Yeah, I think a lot of people think the coaching staff really gets on them, and that's how they motivate them. Most of these guys are self-motivated. They have a lot of pride in their performance.
So trouble already here on their opening drive. This is 3rd and 9. To throw is Jackson. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Give the sack to Jerome Baker. Well, these sacks are really piling up. Last week, there was a half-dozen sacks. And here's one on the opening drive.
And it has the potential to be what we call a gap, a game-altering play. Because, let's face it, you just mentioned 6 sacks last week. Now, if you're an offense and you saw that on tape, you've got to think to yourself, maybe I bring people in, keep them in, and try and protect my quarterback. It didn't work on that play.
So now we'll get a look at the other offensive unit as they come out for their first possession. Orchestrating the offense will be the top pick in the 2018 draft, and that's Baker Mayfield.
I like this guy, and the reason I do, he tends to stay on an even keel. Doesn't let too much ruffle him. He will manage the game the way it needs to be managed, take what the defense gives him, and then he can strike at times. Had a touchdown pass. Yes, he had an interception last week, but he found a way for his team to win.
And they rattle off a big one. 47 yards on the ground.
How about our reigning AFC Player of the Week, hot-footing it into the secondary on that run?
Yeah, nice long run. That's what got him the award a week ago. Maybe he's trying for 2 in a row here this week. Jacobs now. And they'll lose yardage here. They go backwards to the 13-yard line. What a difference a play makes. A huge step forward and now a small step back as he loses a yard or 2. A tale of 2 extremes. First carry, he went for a bundle. His second goes back. And he's into the end zone for the receiving touchdown. Odell Beckham, his 3rd touchdown now on the year. And they are able to strike first here on their opening drive. One of the keys to their long winning streak has been scoring first. An ideal drive right there, getting the first 6 points of the ball game.
Do you go back to our meeting with the offensive coordinator? Remember what he told us?
Absolutely.
With some teams, I script to probe in the early part of the game. Other teams, I script to attack. They've been in attack mode for these ball games and continue that in this one.
Now after the touchdown, here's Pinheiro to kick it off. This will be taken to the back of the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. And now Baltimore gets set to take the field. And on the first drive, 3 and out. I know that these are professional athletes, but I would imagine sometimes you get the nerves at the beginning of a game still, don't you?
Those don't ever go away. And typically what I've heard from guys and what I remember from playing, if you don't have nerves at the start of a game, it's not going to be a great day for you. You're not really ready to play. So finding a way to harness those nerves and not let them affect you in a negative way, that's what all the guys are looking for.
Here's 2nd and 9, just a yard on that last run.
Heavy on the edges, heavy on the edges. Back.
This one quickly into the hands of Landry. Now it appears we've got an injured Raven down there on the field. While the training staff works on him, we'll step aside and be right back. And on 3rd down, a nickel formation here defensively.
Check back.
Jackson from the shotgun. And he's going to have the hook up to Scott. And he's going to be brought down short of the first at about the 31-yard line. They get only 4 that time as that leads us to a 4th down.
Well, we hear so often how tackling has become almost a lost art in the NFL game. But it's so important to tackle well on these receivers, especially in a play like this one. 3rd down, they gave him the underneath stuff. You got to go and make the tackle right away.
Just a yard return there after a punt of 49. And possession will switch hands, 1st and 10.
180. Let's go one more. Point it right. What's that?
On 1st and 10, Mayfield. It's caught by OBJ. And they work this well upfield across the 45. The catch and run pays off for 29 yards.
And let's face it, that what we just saw there, not a surprise, is it? I mean, this is what he does well. And if you don't tackle him as soon as he catches the ball, this is the end result. Big yardage after it.
Got the speed, the agility, so good with run after catch. And we're only in the first quarter, so they better get a wrangle and a hold on that quickly.
Yeah, you're exactly right. And what's really difficult to try and defend him is if you want to press him so that you get him on the ground quickly after the catch, a lot of times he'll just run past you at the initial point of contact, and he'll go deep.
And that play will go nowhere. Losing yardage back near midfield at the 49. This will be a 2-yard loss on the play. And they're going to have a 3rd down. Mayfield looks to throw. And tight coverage there. It's knocked away, incomplete.
Not only was the call spot on, how about the execution of that defense right there? Zone was absolutely locked up tight. He was trying to force it in there on 3rd down.
But if there's a time to force it, he felt like he needed to make a play, right?
Yeah, exactly right. 3rd down, you got to try and find something. There's nothing available there for him.
Here's Jacobs, and he's got the 1st down yardage before he's brought down at the 42. They're able to keep the drive alive, 7 yards that time, and the decision to go for it proves to be a good one. The 4th down run successful. Now they look to pay it off on 1st down. On 1st down, they go with Jacobs again. He's got a 1st down and more inside the 30, and he takes it all the way down to the 22. That's good for 21 yards and a 1st down. One thing's for sure, this defense has to figure out how to stop the ground game. He's eating him up here in the first quarter.
It looks like they have to go to different forces, aren't they? The conventional things aren't working too well. So I remember a coach of mine saying way back when a back's having a
blitz coming, and down he goes. It's a safety blitz and a sack for Earl Thomas.
Hindsight is 20/20, partner. Maybe they should have kept it on the ground again.
Well, it almost looked like the O-line was run blocking again. I mean, they opened up a big hole last time. This time they opened up a hole, and the quarterback got sacked. Don't need it all back at once, but you figure they're going to need something here. 17 yards to go on 2nd down. To throw, Mayfield. It's caught. Beckham. And he'll be brought down inside the 20 at the 19. They'll wind up getting 10 back as that sets them up for 3rd down. And this should be the final play before the quarter ends. On 3rd down, Mayfield. And that one is incomplete. And it also concludes Quarter number one. After one, 7-0 on EA Sports. And this is no good. Close, but he misses just left of the upright. And this score will stay right where it is. So they'll come away with nothing here. A disappointing result even on a day like this.
And as a kicker in the rain, you've got to slow things down a little bit. Give your holder an extra half second to make sure everything's secure. And here, he might have rushed this one a little, and it winds up no good.
They'll start the drive with a give to Foreman. And he's going to lose yardage and be backed up to the 25. It's a loss of a yard there, and now second down. A loss of a yard there to start out. That leads to a 2nd and 11. From the gun, it's Jackson. And this is taken in one-handed. What a catch. And he will lose yardage and be backed up to the 24.
How did he do that? How did he do it? I mean, in this type of weather, it's not just catching it. Is seeing it coming towards it. Maybe that's why I ended up having to go up one-handed, but boy, what a catch.
That was a spectacular one-handed. And he's going to have to eat this one as down he goes. Jerome Baker in there to get him for a loss of 3, and it will be 4th down.
Well, that play was the very definition of fast, quick, and in a hurry. Suddenly, he was there.
Yeah, blink of an eye. That happened fast and a big sack. He's been a busy man here in this first half as he gets it away. We'll call that a punt of 54 yards. Well struck. And the offense will take over with a new set of downs. A look at the running back, the man out of the backfield as he gears up to go again. He's in his zone, second quarter, already closing in on a 100-yard game.
And that's the magic number for a running back. Anytime you get to that triple digits, that's all you're looking for. But he's got a chance to really exceed that in this one.
Yeah, he does. That's been the gold standard for a long time, hasn't it, that 100-yard mark?
It really has, and that never has to shift because it's in a game. It's a 1,000-yard mark. I'm wondering, since we've gone from 12 to 14 to 16 games, maybe we need to up that a little.
Mayfield now looking to throw on first down. He finds his target, Beckham. And he's got this down to the 35. He got 18 yards out of that one, and it gets him a new set of downs. And a good quarterback facing zone coverage. If he has just a little bit of time to survey the scene, that's what's going to happen.
No doubt about it. If there's no pressure, he's going to continue to pick them apart because he'll have all that time to find someone open downfield. You can only cover for so long. So maybe they want to go to a zone blitz scheme, get a little bit more pressure. Remember when Carolina did that against Denver? They lost the game ultimately. They dropped the defensive end out, and he ended up with an interception in that game in Super Bowl 50. Maybe some sort of scheme like that to try and get more pressure at the passer.
From the 31, Mayfield. And that'll be incomplete. Took a pretty good shot as he tried to pull that one in. Couldn't hang on, third down.
You've always been very good about checking my math. Am I correct? That's the first time that it's been incomplete when they've thrown it to him?
Yes, he had caught every other ball coming his way.
So they feel like they've got something really good going there, and they're going to continue to go there until the defense makes an adjustment and takes it away.
Well, they finally made an adjustment there. We'll see if they can build. On that stop.
Well, this was just simply excellent defense. On this third down, they had to be alert for the possibility of a pass, but that didn't stop them at all from understanding what was going on when they decided to run the football, and they just swarmed and stuffed them for almost no gain.
Hey, alert 33.
They go with Jacobs. And inside the 20 before he's brought down. A gutsy call. Turns out to be a good one, though. First down on a pickup of 11. The fourth down run successful. Now they look to pay it off on first down. Here's Jacobs on 1st and 10. Into the secondary again. And he'll take it into the end zone for a touchdown. A great effort there. Hitting double digits with his 10th touchdown of the season. And his guys find a way to stretch that lead.
I know we don't talk about it enough, but the intelligence level of the guys up front blocking, the offensive linemen, maybe the smartest guys in football overall. Add in a little bit of athleticism and a whole lot of toughness, you've got a lot to deal with, don't you?
That's why the guys in the backfield get them really nice Christmas gifts, right?
If they're smart, they do.
This fielded at the 2. And he'll take this across the 25, couple extra yards up to the 27-yard line. The Ravens offense now, they get set to head back on the field. And this not an easy situation. You're down early, in the elements, you're on the road. How do you get the mojo back?
Well, one thing is to remember that as an offensive player, you have a much better idea of what you're trying to accomplish and where you're trying to go than the defender. So in this case, because you know it, you can make your cuts with a little more decisiveness, maybe a second fake, some double moves, things of that nature, to go ahead and try and put some pressure on the defense.
And we remind you, coming up at the half, we'll join who, Charles?
The coach.
The coach, Jonathan Coachman, standing by in Orlando. He'll have stats and scores from games in progress, as well as scores from earlier today.
The coach.
Sorry, we get slap happy up here sometimes. From the gun on 3rd down, Jackson. And he's got Snead. And able to get this one across the 45 before he's brought down. 12 yards to pick up there. Good for a Raven first. Snead's got it. Got to say, I was a little surprised to see him, Charles, come out in the shotgun on 3rd and less than a yard.
Yeah, but the way the NFL is nowadays, we hardly ever see anyone really run for it on short yardage. So they're going to throw the football more times than not. That was a nice, easy rhythm throw right there, and they pick up the first down.
This offense finding its legs now. Here's another 1st and 10. Now Jackson. Open man is Hill. He's got it. And they'll be inside the 35 now at the 34-yard line. And just in general, Charles, on a play like that, how tough is it for the defense to account for a running back essentially being a receiver downfield?
It's very difficult, especially if the running back has skills like a receiver, and you're aware of that before the game even begins. So throughout your practice sessions, you're going to want to be aware of him. Where is he lining up? What can he do? What kind of damage can he do to us downfield? And who can match up with him without weakening our overall defense? You're exactly right. It's a tough task to match up to him.
The Ravens going to use the second of their timeouts as the clock will stop with 55 seconds to go until halftime. Jackson and the offense come up 1st and 10, and he's hit on his first 9 passes now in the ball game. And Jackson throwing once more. Gets this one to Hill. 5 yards on the pickup, and that'll make it 2nd down.
And we see another pitch and catch there to the running back. This position just continues to evolve. They become just as critical to the passing attack as a lot of receivers, tight ends, because their ability to make people miss in the open field can really generate big plays for an offense.
They try to throw on 2nd down, but this one is incomplete. Trying to get it to Willie Snead there. And that takes us from 2nd to 3rd down.
It's been my observation there's been a nice variety of play calling defensively. You and I often talk about an offense's ability to keep a defense off balance with what they're doing. I think the converse has been true in this game.
I think you're right. They seem to have gone off tendency quite a bit, but only the 2nd quarter, a lot of time to change things. Ravens going to use their 3rd and final timeout as it'll come with 15 seconds to play in the first half. First red zone chance now for the Ravens. They've got it 1st and goal at the 7. Again, Jackson. He's got his man. It's Andrews. And he'll be brought down right on the edge of the goal line at about the 1-yard line. That'll bring up 2nd and goal after the gain of 5. There you have it. Halftime quickly over. 3rd quarter, here we go.
And partner, I think that's a great example that not all tight ends are created equal, because everything was right. Got the completion, but he's not one of the more dynamic guys in the league. So even though he caught it, he couldn't turn it into much more.
So here is the home side to take over on offense. They built a good first-half lead. Now they have a chance to add on to it.
And what I'm thinking is that the offensive staff spent the entire halftime just working with them on, here's what we think they're going to do to attack us in the second half. Nice first half that we've had, guys, but be prepared for some change-ups. We're going to see them when we kick it off in the second half.
See how they handle any adjustments that might be made defensively. And he's dropped just before the line to gain. 4-yard pickup leaves him with 3rd and 1.
Third quarter and you've got the lead. You're not ready to go into that 4-minute offense to close the game out, but a running game can really benefit your team right now.
Trying to run for it with Jacobs. And he's got a first down and then some at midfield.
They're trying to show that they can run the ball, protect this lead, give it to the backs, put a little bit of keep away, don't you think?
And that's probably a good philosophy at this point, going to make that defense stand up and stop them. Here's Jacobs. And he'll work his way closer to the goal line as he's got 5 down to the 3.
Looks like they're establishing a pretty good pattern here because they've been very heavy in the running game on the last 4 plays.
Yeah, you took the words right out of my mouth. So far, 4 plays in this drive, all 4 on the ground. On 2nd and goal, Mayfield. And it's caught. Touchdown. David Njoku, his 2nd touchdown on the season. And his guys are going to add on to their lead. Always important to get the first score of the second half. Now you start to pull away a little bit and get some breathing room going.
And now we find out about the fortitude of the group that's behind, because they were counting on getting into the game a little bit more, right? Maybe they get the first score. That doesn't happen. It looks almost insurmountable, but it's not. Let's see how hard they play the rest of the game.
Mayfield down. Oh, the ball comes out on the hit, but they'll say it's incomplete. Protection was great. He had time to set up a campsite. But in the secondary, though, they were ready.
And I think that in most places on the field, if you have that much time to throw the ball, someone's going to shake free and you'll find an open receiver. But condensed near the goal line on a 2-point conversion, all that extra, there's not any extra field. So it kind of closes in on them, and that allows you to cover a little bit better.
Jackson and the Ravens come up now 1st and 10 at their 25-yard line. A run by Foreman to start the drive. And he'll wind up with about 6 up past the 30 to the 31.
Despite the blitz, they're still able to pick up a nice solid gain. The disadvantage of blitzing often alters the normal spacing and run fits and leaves creases like they were able to exploit right there.
And he'll be upended at the 33 following a gain of 3. And guess what? It brings up 3rd down.
Brandon, all things considered, they have to feel pretty good about getting that type of a gain considering the blitz that they just had against them.
3rd and 2. Here's Jackson out to his left. And he's going to lose a yard or 2. Taken down behind the line.
I think we've seen this before. Someone's down 3 scores. That situation there, it's just going to add to their growing frustrations, don't you think?
Yeah, a bad number 3 right now. 3-score game, 3rd quarter, 3 and out, not what they wanted. And you can tell on the sideline, those faces are getting a little bit longer as this one goes. A good kick, 48 yards, 4 on the return. And out will come the offense as they take over. Getting set to go again as we look at the back, heading onto the field again. He has a chance to hit that often elusive 200-yard mark on this drive.
And most of the time during a game, people aren't keeping track of individual statistics.
Are you sure?
Well, a lot of the runners kind of know. But I'll guarantee you someone has sent word into the offensive line that he's got a chance to get over 200 on this drive. That should give them a little extra motivation because they love it when backs break that barrier.
Absolutely. We'll see if he can do it.
There are so many things to watch for when you play defense. And reading your keys, you always hear about that, and having your eyes in the right place. Sometimes your eyes can fool you. How about that play action there? They sprang the big guy, didn't it?
Able to dump it over the top to him. Took just one play to move all the way to the 44 as they try again on 1st down. Here's Mayfield. And And he will be hit from behind and run over. Wow. Michael Pierce, in all of his 340-pound glory, gets the sack. Well, you don't usually get a sack from a nose tackle spot, but we got one there.
No, we don't, and a lot of the times in passing situations, they end up off the field anyway. So how happy was he to work his way back to the quarterback and put him on the ground? He's going to end up with a nickname after something like that, some big jelly or something like that.
Only 3 yards on the pickup. They'll be left staring at a 3rd and 14.
Well, praise has to go to the guys on the offensive line because they've had a very nice, productive day running the football. How about that poor defensive line? They've been knocked around the entire game, and while they slowed them down on that run, can they continue to do so? Because they haven't had much success throughout this ball game.
Now the throw on 3rd down, knocked away and incomplete. Defensively, that's Earl Thomas, the all-pro safety, knocking it free.
Certainly looked like they were getting ready to convert there on 3rd down, but what an effort to get his hand on that one, knock it away, and brings up a 4th down decision.
And he was called on 3 times in the win last week as his first one here's away. And this one hits at the 1, continues on into the end zone for a touchback. The Ravens offense now, they get ready to head back on the field. And here we are almost through 3 quarters of play, and this passing game still has not really found any kind of rhythm.
Put it mildly, because they're not even over 100 yards yet. And in today's NFL, where it's a pass-first league, that is quite surprising. Not many teams patient enough to stick with the run. Everybody wants to advance the ball through the air. They've got to get their timing back.
They run on 1st down, but it only produces a gain of 2. It's 2nd down now. 2 yards on the pickup there. It'll be 2nd and 8.
Well, we just saw a great example of what we talked about with his coach prior to the game. He's definitely one of the better linebackers at reading a play and flowing to make the stop before it turns into something big.
And he'll get about 3 as he takes this up near the 25.
And that's one of the reasons you like to blitz even on rundowns. It confuses the blocking assignments. It doesn't allow those offensive linemen to get up to the 2nd level.
These guys have punted 4 times already, and they're staring at a 5th, barring a conversion here on 3rd down. And a quick throw here, that's complete. And they're able to get this one across the 35. It's a pickup of 11 and a Baltimore 1st down.
Like so many tight ends nowadays, they have no problem at all putting him in the slot and letting him go to work, and that's a nice pitch and catch right there for a 1st down.
So from the 36 now, 1st and 10. A carry for Foreman. And he'll go down, and that will do it for the 3rd quarter of action. Welcome back now here in London. It's the Ravens with possession of the football, but trailing on the big board as we get set for the 4th. Throwing on 1st down, it's Jackson. Open man here is Scott, complete. And down he goes at the 45 after a pickup of 9. Give him 9 there on the 1st down completion. That last catch short of the marker by just a yard leaves him with a very manageable 2nd and 1. Jackson, and that is incomplete. A lot of force bearing down on him there. He could not hang on. It's 3rd down. The Ravens on 3rd down. 3 for 7 so far in this game. They're up against a 3rd and 1 situation. Here's Jackson to throw. Step, and he can't get rid of it. He's taken down.
We've been around this league for a while, and many coaches never pull their starting quarterback, almost no matter the situation. In this case, though, I think he's got to make a decision. He's taking a pretty good beating out there.
Yeah, and with the deficit, maybe not wanting to risk an injury. A critical one here if they're going to have any shot at this thing. So they'll go for it on 4th down. Throwing is Jackson, and it is incomplete. Boy, it looked like he had it and dropped it. Well, they've clearly made a conscious decision here to be more aggressive in the late stages of this game here in the 2nd half.
And I get it. In this situation, if you want to be aggressive out near midfield, you feel good about your defense maybe, or just, hey, I thought I had a proper play call. But how about the guys that just stop?
On 1st down, it's Jacobs. And he'll get this down only to about the 46. 3 yards on the pickup there, and it'll be 2nd down.
Bottom line, they want to keep this clock rolling, so they'll take that one right there. They just want to keep falling forward, and they want to put the onus on the big fellas up front in order to bring this one home.
Point it right, point it right, point it right. Alert, 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 alert.
On 2nd and 7, Mayfield over the middle to Beckham. And he's corralled, but not before getting it inside the 35. 12 yards there and a first down.
This has to go down as one of the simpler routes in the playbook, but oh so effective. Nice completion there. Keeps the sticks moving.
First down, Mayfield. On the crossing route, complete is Gutierrez.
Holding offense.
They were looking to throw, holding on the big right tackle.
That's real simple, partner. Keep your hands inside in the chest area. You're probably okay. You get it out on the shoulders, get them wide. Usually going to pick up a holding call.
So following the hold, they're in a bit of a hole here with a 1st and 20. Now a carry for Jacobs. It's a gain of 7 on the ground. 2nd down coming up.
Oh, that's one to warm the hearts of all those old-school football players, isn't it? Tough, hard, gritty run, got behind his pads, bowled over a few people. Look at that one, right up the gut.
So up through 3 quarters, no reason to lighten up now.
Come on, let's go.
Now on 2nd and 13, Mayfield. And this one incomplete. Too much contact to hold on to that one, and it's 3rd down.
The beauty of being able to play a zone defense, when you can sit back and see the ball coming out of the quarterback's hands, guess what? Creates a lot of confusion, kind of a muddle in the middle of the field where you can go make a play on the football.
An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on 3rd down. Mayfield off the play fake. Finding Gabriel, complete. And he's going to be taken down with the first down at the Ravens' 18. They have the nice cushion. They just want to pour it on right now, still throwing the football.
And I know my background says, why do you need to do this? Just go ahead and run out the clock and get a win. But as many people pointed out to me, it's a video game, man. Go ahead and put the numbers up. Sportsmanship, not an issue.
Exercise those fingers. Mayfield now 6 for 6 since coming back out of the locker room. It's 1st and 10. Now here's a pass on 1st down that's knocked away and incomplete. The Pro Bowler Odell Beckham, the intended receiver. And that'll bring up 2nd down. The incompletion there stops the clock. Any surprise they're throwing here late?
Ordinarily, yes, because you would think enough is enough. They've got plenty of lead, but I've seen this a bunch of times as well. The defense is going to crowd the line of scrimmage. If you just hand it off inside, you're getting your running back pop.
And he will take this one in for a touchdown. A great play there. With touchdown number 2 in the game and now 11 on the year. And his guys find a way to stretch that lead. And he certainly played a pivotal role with those 2 TDs and why they're up on the scoreboard right now.
Well, someone's all about winning, aren't they? Because he's not worried about the number. Sure, it's great to have 2 touchdowns. The bottom line is what he's doing is contributing to their lead. He wants to continue to do so.
Now after the touchdown, here's Pinheiro to kick it off. This fielded at the 2. They'll bring it back to just about the 25. Call it the 24-yard line.
Here we go.
Now the Baltimore offense heading back out onto the field. And let's face it, this drive is not going to have any bearing on this game, but it's kind of important for one reason, isn't it?
It certainly is. You got to get points. And okay, all right, I'm being facetious here. But you get points, you feel a little bit better about yourself as you move on to the next one.
No gain there on the completion, 2nd and 10. Had the completed pass, but for no gain, stopped right at the line, so it's 2nd and 10. Here's Jackson, completes it to Aguilar. And they're able to get this one across the 35. That's good for a Raven first down, 15 yards there.
Nice game there, partner, but you and I both know that won't do anything for the final score. They're not going to win this one. Right now they're playing for pride and fantasy points.
And just to erase that goose egg, nobody wants to be shut out. Now a throw here to his running back. It'll be a gain of 6, and it'll bring up a 2nd down. You got the big lead defensively, willing to give them that underneath stuff, right?
And this is why you work on your tackling. Tackle them after the catch, inbounds, keep the clock running. Just go ahead and bleed the game out that way.
So it's Raven football here as we welcome you back. They're looking at second down now as they search for a consolation score. To throw again on second down, Jackson. And he'll get it down to the 47 here. 9 yards to pick up there, and it's a first down. With that grab, he now sits at 200 for his career, and maybe more importantly, a first down. Jackson and the offense come up first. Jackson hit, and he lost the football.
On plays like this where the ball comes free, it's often unusual for the team that lost it to get it back because this is the quarterback. The ball gets away from him. Everyone else is trying to execute what they're supposed to do on offense. They're usually looking in the other direction, downfield, or have moved away from him. In this case, though, a teammate is able to come up with the ball.
Now the Ravens going to use one of their timeouts as they'll talk it over here before what will be an important third down.
Keep it up, guys.
From the gun, Jackson. Oh, a scrap for the football, and he's going to come down with it. How about 25 yards on third down? They'll take it. Now it's Jackson. They complete it to Hill. Now it appears we've got an injured Raven down there on the field. Well, he gets attended to. We'll step aside. They only got a yard out of that last completion, and that makes this 2nd and 9.
Watch the safety creep.
Jackson will throw again. Got an open man. It's Scott. And that's going to be incomplete. A lot of contact, no call, and it's third down. Another incompletion. You know, it's a wonder he's still moving around back there the number of times he's been sacked.
Yeah, he's staying out there, isn't he? And you don't think about it much in a game like this, but he's showing incredible leadership. Still competing, still fighting, not taking himself out of a ball game that appears lost.
Meanwhile, on third down, they take a shot at the end zone, but it's incomplete.
Okay, partner, hyperbole alert, all right? I think that this has got to be the best game I've seen this secondary play this entire season. Doesn't matter whether they've been in man, zone, they've reacted, communicated, and really made plays on the football.
They absolutely have. And the play on that last deep ball, maybe the best example of it, they've been solid all game long. Well, it's a Pyrrhic victory at best, but, Charles, no team wants to get shut out, so it's hard to blame them for taking the 3 there.
You can't blame them one bit. It hasn't been the best performance, that's for darn sure. But there is something to be said for fighting to avoid the goose egg, and they're at least trying to finish out strong.
The offense back out there at the line, ready for their next drive. And this one all over but the shouting, you might say. Now, there's one timeout remaining defensively, but probably no real need to use it here.
Yeah, the only time they would use it, strictly for pride.
So plenty of smiles for the folks here as they head for the exits. It's a victory for their hometown guys.